when I'm guiding a couple through healing their bodies and becoming fertile, I teach them how to completely take control of their food choices by showing them options that they're going to love. And even though I'll be talking a lot about fertility, this is going to apply to you. I promise you that I'm going to say some things that are going to make you think twice, that are going to help you get healthier. So let me ask you a question. Who here believes that your heart health is directly linked to your diet? Your heart health is directly linked to your diet? Pretty easy, right? Because we've been taught that. So is your heart part of your digestive tract? Does it come in direct contact with the food? So is it really so far-fetched to believe that your kidneys are affected by your food? That your ovaries are affected by your food? That your sperm quality is affected by your food? So the truth is that we're all making decisions about how healthy and fertile we're going to be tomorrow, next week, next year, every single time we pick up a fork. So what I've done is I've created a 4-step plan, or a spoon for anybody who's a smart aleck out there. I've created a 4-step plan to get couples healthy and ready to conceive their babies. So step 1, we're going to go through each step. Step 1 is to clean out the lymphatic system and nourish the spleen. Wait, what? We're talking about fertility, right? What does the spleen and the lymphatic system have to do with fertility? Well, here's the thing. Your lymphatic system is your drainage system. So imagine in your bathroom, if your drain gets clogged, the sink drain gets clogged up, what happens? The water builds up and it gets really nasty really fast, right? So the same thing is happening inside your body, because we know that our cells are constantly dying and having to be rebuilt, right? We have an entirely new body every year. So something has to be working to be getting all of this waste out of our bodies, and that's where your lymphatic system comes in. One way to get your lymphatic system pumping is to exercise. Get your exercise, because your lymphatic system does not come equipped with an automatic pump like your circulatory system does. So it's your responsibility to keep it flowing, keep it moving. So exercise is a critical piece of that. And then the other thing is, I'm going to talk for just a second about your spleen, which is your blood filter, okay? So the second piece of step 1 is to nourish your spleen. So your blood is how a growing fetus gets its nourishment, right? So if it's not being filtered properly, then either you're not going to get pregnant because your body knows that the blood quality is not good, or you're going to miscarry, or you're very likely to miscarry if you do get pregnant. So the best way to nourish your spleen and clean out your lymphatic system is you can do it in one easy step, both at the same time. And what you do is you keep a thermos of hot water. It's so simple. You keep a thermos of hot water with you at all times, and you sip it constantly throughout the day for 2 weeks. This gets your lymphatic system cleansed out again, and it warms your spleen. Now, like I said, your spleen is a filter, and so it likes warmth. So what happens if your spleen gets cold? It shrivels up, right? Is a filter able to be very effective if it's shriveled up? So you want to keep your spleen warm. So the other thing about your spleen is that it likes hearty, nourishing, warming soups and stews and things like that, comfort foods. Your spleen is what causes you to crave those comfort foods, and they're not a bad thing. And I go through and I teach people how to swap ingredients so that the comfort foods that you're eating, you don't have to feel guilty about. You don't have to worry about them going straight to your hips, but they're going to taste just as good as the way that your mom made it. So step 2 in my program is to take really good care of your liver. This means, for one thing, balancing your blood sugar. If you want to know how well you're doing with your blood sugar, and you should, go to Target, $15 for a cheap little blood sugar monitor. And what you do is, when you first wake up in the morning, you want to test yourself. Before you even stand up, you want to test. And your number should be under 86. If it's above 86, then your liver was not able to do its job properly throughout the night. So your liver is like your janitor. It comes in at 10 o'clock. This is why everybody talks about going to bed at 10 o'clock. It's because your liver kicks in at 10 o'clock. When everybody else is kind of closed up shop for the day, your liver comes in and it cleans up the mess. And it works through 4 a.m. So you want your eyes closed from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And the reason that your eyes closed is so important is because your liver is responsible for blood flow to your eyes, as well as in women to your uterus. So this is why a lot of women who have poor eyesight are more likely to struggle with their fertility. So when making food choices, you want to remember that your liver's favorite color is green. So eat an abundance of leafy green vegetables to keep your liver happy and healthy. I recommend green juices because none of us are getting enough green vegetables every day. If you've never tried a green juice, please go downtown, go to Nourish, go to Ola juice bars, just spend a few bucks, test it out. I promise that one, you're gonna have more energy, and two, you're probably gonna be pretty pleasantly surprised by how good it actually tastes. So just go test it out. If you really want, come to my house, I'll make you some. Then one last thing about your liver is that it is not at all fond of refined sugars. So you really want to switch your sugars from the white processed stuff over to coconut sugar, stevia, which should be green. It should not be white. If it's white, they're doing something to it. Raw, unfiltered honey, things like that. These are some of the basics. There's more options, but these are some to get you started. So step 3 is to be kind to your kidneys. Now your kidneys are really, really amazing little organs that we have. They influence our vitality, our zest for life. If you have any sort of anxiety issues, then you definitely want to focus on your kidneys. So I've got some good news for you. I've got some bad news for you, but then I've got some really, really great news for you. So the salt, which there doesn't seem to be any, oh, there's some. Okay, so this salt that we're all eating right now, your kidneys hate this salt, okay? They hate this stuff. But the great news is that they love real salt. If it's unprocessed, unrefined, salt should have color. There's red salt, there's gray salt, there's pink salt. There's all kinds of different colors that salt can come in. And that means that there's minerals in the salt, that it hasn't been processed, it hasn't been bleached, it hasn't been, completely stripped of every good thing. And so your kidneys love real salt. So you really want to make that switch, and that's an easy one to do. Another thing that not many people know about your kidneys is that they're directly linked to your brain health. So I'm not going to go into details about that because there's not a lot of time right now, but if you really want to know more, come see me and I'll tell you more. But because as human beings, our #1 survival mechanism is our brain. It's critical that we have healthy brains, and so it's very important for us to take care of our kidneys so that when we're building babies, we can build them healthy brains so that they can survive. Okay, so step 4 is heal your heart. So when a woman is pregnant, her blood volume nearly doubles, okay? So you can imagine how much more stress this would put on her heart for the entire pregnancy. If her heart is weak to begin with, she may not be able to get pregnant at all, and she may end up miscarrying if she does get pregnant. So strengthening the heart is so, so important. And again, exercise is a big piece of that, but it's definitely not the only piece. So here, ladies, is where I'm going to tell you to eat chocolate. Because chocolate is great for your heart. Now again, if they can afford an amusement park, it's not good chocolate. It's not even real chocolate, honestly. So don't go to the places that have amusement parks, or don't buy from places that have amusement parks. I have a recipe that's so simple and so easy, you don't even really have to write it down. If you want the recipe for homemade chocolate, I'll give it to you. But basically you want to go with raw, unprocessed, unrefined chocolate. You want to buy it straight from the health food store. They sell it like that. If you buy it like that, then it's packed with magnesium. And magnesium is one of the most important minerals for your heart. So another thing that your heart really loves is olive oil. And the reason for this is because our bodies, when we're not terribly healthy, take our estrogens, and this is true for men too, take our estrogens and they convert it into not so good estrogens that damage your heart, okay? So olive oil, when it's pure, when it's high quality, it stops this process from happening. So it keeps all of your estrogens healthy, estrogens that you want. And estrogen is what helps women feel calm and soft and nurturing and those kinds of emotions. I tell everyone, please don't buy into the low-fat, non-fat stuff. It's total BS. Please don't do it. Fat is good for you. Please start eating fat again. As long as it comes from real, natural foods, it's good for you. You want it. But have you ever noticed how you don't associate vegetables with fat? Have you ever bitten into a zucchini and been like, man, this is a fatty zucchini? You know, you don't do that, right? And the reason for this is because the minuscule amounts of fats that are found in vegetables like that are so high in omega-6 fatty acids that, which are good, we need them. They keep things, they keep some resistance in your body, which you need. Because, you know, you don't want your blood to be too thin. You don't want your vessels to be too relaxed, right? But the amount of omega-6 fatty acids that most of us are eating every day because of these vegetable oils, it's just off the charts. It's insane. And it's causing a ton of inflammation in our bodies. So what you want to do is go home and throw away your vegetable oils. Just don't ever buy them again. You want to use coconut oil, ghee, which is clarified butter, and olive oil. Those are the three main fats that you want to be using when you're cooking. And then you want to start taking a really, really high quality omega-3 supplement, because none of us are getting enough omega-3s from our diets. So I'm going to close by just making a point here that throughout history, every civilization has had sacred foods. They call them sacred foods. And they put couples on these foods. Typically, most civilizations will put a couple on these foods 6 months before they marry. And then the women stay on these foods until their last baby is weaned. And the children stay on these foods until they're done growing. So if throughout history, if this is what's been done, they knew something. You know, they knew the importance of food. And so I really want to emphasize that food does matter. It's very important. So thank you.
Very nice.